That was me. Danda Sotarama, Gundu Potavada. You put the food on the table and he shows up. And my dad one day looked at me, and he wasn't being funny. He looked at me and he said, "You're going to bring the greatest shame to this family ever. You're heading nowhere." And in a shame-oriented culture, I knew that was my death knell. And then I'll never forget the first honorary doctorate that was given to me sometime, I don't know when it was, late 70s or early 80s, at Houghton College in New York. My mother had passed away by then. She died in her 50s. My dad came for that, and he was sitting on my left. And he'd gone and bought my hood, which they were going to drape on me. And I still remember him sitting there with his head thrown back, saying, "Is this for real? Is this really happening?" And it was not at all surprising, literally a day before he died, but he didn't know he was dying then. He opted for open heart. And I lived in Niagara Falls, New York. He lived in Toronto. All of my brothers and sisters still live in Toronto. The closest was my older brother, 10 minutes away from him. He phoned me in Niagara. He said, "Son, I want you to take me to the hospital. I'm not feeling well." I said, "Dad, Ajit is near." He said, "I want you to come." So I got into my car, drove the 75 miles, headed to Toronto, picked him up. I didn't realize why. All the way to the hospital, he talked to me about the premonition that he didn't think he was going to come out of this. But there's one score he needed to settle before he passed away. He said, "I need to ask your forgiveness for all that I thought of you and mentioned to you." See, we as earthly parents make a lot of mistakes. We all do it. Our Heavenly Father doesn't make those mistakes. His signature is on your soul. He's called you, fashioned you, brought you from non-being into being.